Right, hot to trot back here in the Goulburn Valley. Duncan McPherson, hello.
What a great morning at Aldebaran Park.
It is indeed. You've got to lift that thing up a bit closer.
I've lifted it up closer.
Not quite that far, but that's okay. Been a massive week, actually, all round. Just got out of the car and you said a great stat about Sky Valley. We've got plenty of news to come about, and we'll get about Sky Valley and that in a sec as well. But behind you, new addition to the family.
Yeah, we got lucky again the other day, and we've got our second Walner colt on the ground. So he's actually standing behind his mum. But Tickle Pink. Aldebaran Teal's is the mare behind us, and her daughter is also behind us. Aldebaran Bardo, who's a Charlie Denoyer, who's due to foal to Calgary Games. But back to Teal. So Teal's owner, 50% with Manhammerster Terry up in Sweden.
Yep. And
the foal arrived just over the weekend past, and we let them know up in Sweden, and you could just about hear the screams of joy from the Northern Hemisphere to have a Southern Hemispherical colt by Walner out of a Going Kronos mare, which is where Aldebaran Teal's from. And she's already left a winner up there, so life's looking pretty good. And we've got Aldebaran Margaretta down here, who's her third foal, and she'll go back in work in the next 4 weeks. And she's obviously another one by Redley Express. So we've got a real genetic improvement line down here, and hoping that the colt can do the job for us.
I find it fascinating. Most breeders want fillies. You're wrapped. You got 2 colts because of potentially the future.
Yeah, and we haven't. And her other colt we left up in Sweden, Foreshore Aldebaran, and he's racing around up there. So we've got 2 daughters down here already out of Aldebaran Teal. And if you'd asked Manhammer and Johan Hellander what we would have liked, it was definitely a Walner colt. So spot on. And who knows? In 7 or 8 years' time, he could be standing in one of the paddocks here.
Yep, and it's a succession plan, as Danny was saying just there before, and strategically, trying to improve our genetics here in Australia, as is Pat, and New Zealand, and we'll touch on New Zealand as well in a minute. But there is a method behind what you are doing, so it is exciting, and it's an exciting time of year, full stop, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did a video up here recently of Aldebaran Ravani's colt and Raptor, and you've seen him this morning. He's growing beautifully, and so looking good after 4 or 5 weeks. So hopefully in 4 or 5 weeks this bloke will look the same. So no, very happy. He's got a nice little white blaze on him, so he's distinctive. So looking forward to his development and watching him grow up over the next 6 or 8 weeks, and we can see more about what we've got. But so far, straight legs. He's got a bit of spunk to him, and he's got his own personality. So far, so good.
We've got plenty to cover off on. I would like to start with the stallions, though. Aldebaran Eagle, another great week for him. Two winners. One on Sunday with Winnie's Dream, and then Lair of the Eagle Tuesday. Another win. I think that's 2 wins now for the Paddy Lee camp. He's going terrific. Eagle just keeps getting the job done, doesn't he? And it's just it's a great result for New Zealand trotting, because he's over there and people can still use him and be able to get semen from him.
Yeah, well, he just continues to do, as you say, a super job here in Australia, and statistically he's just an amazing animal. So we knew he had a great disposition when he struggled through what the ailments that he had, and it's all good for New Zealand breeders. And I mean, we've bred our mares over in New Zealand to him on the basic understanding that he just keeps leaving winners over here, and they seem to be, they look like his dad, or they look like him and trot like him with the action that Aldebaran Eagle showed when he raced. We pretty much know where they're going to be when they get older, and statistically brilliant. A
little bit of everything, like we talk about the amount of winners. I think 3 weeks ago he had 5 winners. Probably his best foal is not even racing yet. I know she's back in work, getting targeted for the winter, rocking with attitude. That is, but 2-year-olds, fillies, they can win multiple races. Older horses, he's ticking all these boxes. I can't remember the horse of Jeff Eason's in South Australia. His name's just
Reoffender.
Like he's a
6 from 7.
Yeah, and he's just a 2-year-old, and he's up and going, and he's a little bit like Rocking with Attitude, if you like. Just took all before him, and I'm trying to get an interview with Jeff. He's a little bit elusive, but I'll get him. I'll wear him down eventually. But that's the boxes that he ticks. There's so many, if you like, if that's the right way of putting it. Lisa's horse going to need a bit of time. Lisa said it's going to need a bit of time. Anyone watches it knows it's going to need a bit of time, but she's very, very confident. She knows her way around trotters as well. And then she's also got that other filly as well. So they tick a lot of boxes, the Eagles, don't they?
Yeah, and as we know here, it's a shame that he, the seaman, we had to send it across, because if he'd been available here, the phone's still ringing.
Yeah.
People are still interested in breeding to him, and as we know, he's unable to do that here. But no, look, I mean, it's a bit of a coup for New Zealand, and hopefully in 3 to 5 years' time, he's doing the same job and leaving his mark in New Zealand as he's left over here in Australia.
Sky Valley, what was your stat? 10 winners for the month so far.
Yeah, 10 winners in 19 days, and he's got, Alrighty as the favourite in the homegrown colts. Yep. So, what an amazing stat for a stallion who's affordable to everybody.
Yep.
And I still shake my head at the numbers. People who are thinking about breeding in 2024. For any trotting stallion to have 10 winners in 19 days and a favourite in the homegrown on Saturday night. Show me another one. And the answer is you can't.
And as we say here about the international genetics, and that Sky Valley's doing it with a lot of horses, and I'm sure the O'Connors won't mind me saying it's an older Australian breed, and it's not that Maori breed either that seems to leave all the winners. It's that next generation. It's the Trappers line that they breed from. We've got a couple at home. That's the beauty of Sky Valley, is he'll cross across everything. We want to improve our bloodlines, but if you've got that old-fashioned bred trotter, Sky Valley ticks that box and works so well with them here in Australia.
Well, he's the classic colonial stallion, isn't he? And that's how we've marketed him all the way through. And, he's 20 rising 21. And
doesn't know it.
No, he doesn't know it. We went and saw him before, and we were talking about, the pacing stallions aren't made just better delight. I mean, he's really in that league, if you like, of continuing just to leave winners from one end of the country to the other. And to the O'Connors, people like the O'Connors. They've supported the stallion on the way through. And it's just wonderful that they get the rewards for their investment. And at $2,000, including GST, I'd encourage all breeders here in Victoria, at least, even in New South Wales and South Australia, to reconsider if you're going to breed or not, because he's doing a job in December that no other stallion seems to be doing.
Skyflare won here at Shepparton on Tuesday night. Brent Thompson. And then Donna Castle's had one yesterday. It's a Sky something as well, brought up its second win. Balmain Lodge, actually.
Yes.
Jeff and Lorraine Barnes owned that horse. So everyone's winning with these horses, which is great.
Yeah, no, it's great, and that's how we market Sky Valley. He's an everybody stallion for anybody.
Yep.
And and as we say, fresh is best, and there's no problem with his semen quality, and he's putting mares in foal again in 2024, and on we go.
Dancing in the Dark M, he's here as well, and I have got my other hat in my hand. I won't worry about scaring people with the bald head going there. The reason I got this, very, very well represented in your draft this year with the Nutrien Equine sales in Melbourne on April 13. Too many numbers going through my noggin, but I think you got 19 going through the sale, 19 horses for Aldebaran Park going through the sale. I reckon there's about 10 that are Dancing in the Dark M, so that's going to be exciting in itself, and we want people to be aware that he is here, ready cash line. What's he, the fourth fastest horse ever to come to Australia?
Yeah.
Fourth fastest trotter ever to come to Australia, and is available here in Australia as fresh semen and also in New Zealand, and we want the Kiwis to be aware of that as well.
Fourth fastest in the world and fastest trotting stallion ever to stand in Australia and New Zealand. So, look, he's doing a super job. The yearlings are here, and we encourage people to come and have a look at him. Obviously, we've got a fair smattering of foals by him as well. I was just talking even yesterday to some breeders down in the Western District, and they're breeding to Dancing in the Dark. John Mead and the crew down there, and John's a great student of international bloodlines, as we know, because he had the opportunity with Sparkling Success to go to Yonkers. And, we had a good chat yesterday. But when you get an opportunity like that, and then you see the progeny that he's got on the ground, and Dave McGowan in New Zealand's rebooking his mares back. He's got foals this year. He's so impressed with them that he's reloading, if you like. That fully franks the foals that are on the ground in New Zealand when you've got a breeder like Dave McGowan coming back this year in successive years.
And a lot of the Australians might not know me. He actually bred a winner at Aldebaran Park on Tuesday just gone, and Adele.
Yes.
And those horses, he's responsible for those, Dave, and very, very passionate trotting man as well, and does love the gate. Anyone wants to get in touch with the farm, I'm going to put the tile up over the top. We're not finished this interview, so we've got plenty of ground to cover, but this is with the boys, so it's not too late. You were saying there before, you got foals still due in February. The changing of the seasons, it's changed the way people breed. Years ago, it used to be Christmas, or we don't breed anymore, but there's still well and truly plenty of time for people to breed, and especially that frozen semen. I know it's a lot easier to get them in foal once the weather really warms up, so it's a lot easier for those guys as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bardo's due early January, and we've still got Maori time to go, so everything's falling into place, and the only reason they're so late is because we brought them down from the Northern Hemisphere, both in foaled Calgary games for, again, genetics that we can't get. Would we like colts with both those? We don't need 4 colts to compete with each other, but I mean,
it'd be a bonus as well.
It'd be a bonus, and I mean, obviously we want to set up a gene pool here that carries the farm into the future, and carries Victorian and Australasian trotting into the future. So, the more colts, the better, and if they stand up and we get a stallion out of 1 or 3 or 1 or 4 out of it, well, the farm has achieved really what its objective was, and that was to introduce those Northern Hemisphere genetics and be able to race them down here. And the beauty of some of the girls is obviously they're going to be dropping foals to Northern Hemisphere time. So it gives us that flexibility and eligibility, if you like, and that's what we'll look at when we get the foals.
The rise of the trotter, and I think it's the only way the sport will go forward, because I think the paces are well and truly plateaued, and happy to argue that with anyone. A lot of people are happy to argue it, but more people getting them. More high-profile trainers are getting them as well. They're realising that if they're going to take 1 or 2 to the races, they might as well put 2 trotters on now, because there's more often than not, there's more than 3 or 4 trot races on, so they're missing out on that opportunity. They are getting easier to train because of the genetics. They're not those old ones that you had to put 12-pound shoes on in front and change them up for certain tracks. They're a lot better than that now. It is amazing. It was highlighted. I did a chat with Pat just recently, and while I was doing it, I was going through my head. We had Oscar Bonavina and Muscle Mountain. Just Believe would have been there, but unfortunately he went amiss, that were racing in New Zealand. You take those 3 horses, you think, well, that's going to leave a big gulp. We had the Inter Dominion, and the horses on show there. You've got Zeus, you had Queen Alida, we had the Locomotive winning it. There's high-class
Metro.
High-class trotters everywhere. Like, it's awesome, isn't it?
But then you didn't have Olivici wasn't there, and he was racing around down here in Melbourne on Saturday night.
Was in years gone by.
With Ebony's Avenger and the other one, the one from New Zealand that Chris Finozio had.
Love Me Too.
Love Me Too. So there's three that could have been in the Inter Dominion.
So in one weekend we had
all those horses racing across the Southern Hemisphere.
At three different tracks in 3. It's so exciting for the gate, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that when you look at the juvenile trotters and the homegrowns this weekend are no different. I mean, the homegrowns there to give an opportunity to a horse to get a listed race at the back end of the season, and the quality of those horses, and some have only had a couple of starts. So again, there's enough in the calendar to not necessarily have to tackle the big races. There's enough racing for good quality trotters in that juvenile rank to be able for owners and breeders and everybody to get a commercial result both in the 2 and 3 year old categories. So you've got to commend HRV for putting those races and maintaining those races. I mean, we know economic times are tough, but to have $25,000 finals for the trotters on Saturday night, it's a great boon for the trotting industry. And, I just encourage, again, people either to come to the yearling sales, to the nutrient sales, or the APG for that matter, but definitely to nutrient, where the bulk of our draft is, or all our draft is, and purchase trotters with genetics that you can't get anywhere else.
The other part of that, and go back to even your service fees, but it doesn't matter. The trotting stallions are reasonably to respectfully priced as far as service fees as well. So people wanting to get into it, when you line them up against some of the pacing ones, it's just ridiculous how. And a little bit that goes back to yourself and to Pat, but also some of these other farms keeping the service fees at a very affordable rate, if you like. You could say competitive, but I don't think I don't think that's the case with either yourself or Pat, that's for sure, and that you price them where you think people will go to them, not necessarily for you guys to turn a dollar. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I mean, we're all the stud masters, in whether they be here or in New Zealand with the trotting gate, we're all very respectful of each other. So it's not a race to the bottom as far as service fees is concerned. We generally hold our service fees and reward those investors that come and support the farms, and we've all got our investment pool, if you like, and it's very important to maintain that. But it is a numbers game at the end of the day, and okay, so we've got some Walners, we're in a position where we can invest at that level, and we do that for a reason. But for anyone that's got a broodmare, there are an oodle amount of stallions in that sub $5,000 service fee range that are globally competitive, and we're proving that with the quality of the horses that are racing around our free-for-all ranks now. So if you can have the vision and think that in 4 to 6 years' time, with a foal that you may, breed your mare to this year, or a stallion you may breed your mare to this year, in 4 to 6 years, you've got every opportunity to be competing at free-for-all level here in Victoria and around Australia.
Your 3 stallions, Dancing in the Dark M, we can't say he's left winners, but the other 2 boys were actually out of your $5,000. No, you won't quite get change. You'll just have to pay a little bit of on top, but basically $5,500 you could get one of each of your 2 boys. And we just rattled off how many winners they haven't, and as I said, most of the other studs are in that same boat. So it is still a very, very affordable gate, and won't be long, and it will be like people talk about all trotting days. They're just going to be the norm soon, because there is that many of them coming through.
Yeah, and there's a few more of those. I mean, we've got a dual code meeting at Bendigo for the Team Teal at Team Teal time for TT25, and we'll have no problem filling the fields at that all trotting night at Bendigo in February. And Maryborough have proven it, and there's obviously the Great Southern Star, and then we've got the night at the Trots with the Lynn McPherson Memorial Breed for Speed Series. So there's probably 2 or 3 more trotting days in the next 8 weeks that are going to be highlighted here in Victoria, and get on board and get yourself a trotter. Yeah,
I've got the Team Teal logo on, and we were going to touch about that. It's quite interesting with Aldebaran Teal. Starts in February, goes through to the middle of March. You get very busy. It's a very busy time of year for people, and I think that's one of the reasons, get back to getting around some of these farms. We need people to get around these farms and have a look, but it is a very, very busy time, but it's a very important time for yourself and for Team Teal and ovarian cancer awareness.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with the girls in the team at Anscog up and the Team Teal team up in New South Wales have been very busy. Already, I was up at the Inter-Dominion at Menangle and had the good fortune of talking with Wendy Turnbull and a whole group of others that have always supported Team Teal, those from Queensland and Western Australia. So, we're off to Pinjarra. I'm off to Trots at the Frocks at Christchurch, where Rachel Deegan's who's a lot of people in harness racing will know. Deegs. She worked for many years with in the standard bred sales area over there in New Zealand. She's had a couple of her girlfriends recently pass away from ovarian cancer, so she's asked me to go across there in March for the Trots at the Frocks. They've got 5 heats from one end of New Zealand to the other. And we know that Bendigo, as I say, have got their dual code. Pinjarra are going to do a day for us over there in early March. So, and South Australia as well. We've got 28 ambassadors. Those will be going up on the Team Teal website already. The girls have all got their pants pre-Christmas, so 1st of February's not far away, and we're ready to go. And of course, night at the Trots on the 22nd of Feb. If we can
tickets are on sale now.
Tickets are on sale now, and if anyone's not sure, they can always get in touch with me or through the Aldebaran Park website, and we'll help them out. But we hope to get 300 people in the room. It's probably going to be the biggest individual night that Melton Entertainment Park has had the privilege of hosting. And if we can get there and support the Team Teal and ovarian cancer awareness cause for Anscog, all the better. But 15 years next year, that's we've been doing 16th night at the Trots, if you like, 11 years for Team Teal, and the total aggregate for Team Teal raising is just in the order of $3.5 million, and then for the overall fundraising we've done for ovarian cancer awareness before Team Teal went national, it's in the order of $4 million. So credit to our industry, and I know that the Survivors Teaching Students program and the speakers that we'll have around the country during that period will definitely have an impactful awareness meaning and get the message out there.
One of the ambassadors, they've already actually changed her colours, her driving colours on the New Zealand website to the Team Teal ones.
Colours.
Sam Ottery going to be a trail. She's already a trailblazer. She's the most leading female driver. Overtook Nikki Chilcott, who was a trailblazer in her own right beforehand. Closing in on 100 winners for the season. She's, I think, half a dozen short, which would be a mighty achievement. Never been done by a lady driver in New Zealand. So, and she is one of your ambassadors. Done a couple of interviews with her. She is a very proud ambassador as well. So good luck to her. Hopefully she breaks that 100 this season, because she's so close.
Yeah, and I mean, Sam's been over there flying the flag, the Team Teal flag, for many years. And look, we're very honoured to have some of these fantastic female drivers who are unique in their own right and fantastic sportswomen, and for them to be able to champion the cause and get the message out there into the broader community, it's an outstanding result.
Hot to trot, Dunk, thank you. Get in touch with the team. Banner's back over the top of us. I don't need to see you and me smiling in front of this camera. But thank you very much. Congratulations with another colt, another boy. It's becoming a bit of a nursery down here, that's for sure. Raptor's going terrific too. We saw him over there before, so anyone wondering where he's at, he's going terrific. So everything's up and positive, but please, it's not too late to breed, and we want people to continue to breed, to continue to make sure we've got great numbers for the industry, and keep growing the trotter.
Yep, and it's nearly Get Real Support Teal team time. So thanks very much for the opportunity. And if anyone's thinking about breeding late in the season, our stallions are available right through the Christmas New Year period. So it's business as usual at Aldebaran Park. We're hot to trot and we're fresh as best. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, mate.